All right, good morning. The question we got asked is about piping system design on the distribution side. And we're looking at the idea of using loops for the process groups in a facility instead of using a loop or loop and ladder system for the entire facility. But what they had done in the example is they had used a straight header, and then off of that straight header did the sub loops to the process groups. And this isn't bad, but it runs into the same issues that you have with running a straight header, right? Everything is taken off in a line. By using a combination of a loop and ladder with sub loops, you get the benefits of both. So there's a couple different concepts though that make this a little bit more intricate, maybe. But sometimes you guys hear me talk about 8 parts of a compressed air system. Sometimes you hear me talk about process mapping and understanding process groups and process outliers, right? Sometimes you hear me talking about pressure control, whether it be at the compressor room, leaving the compressor room, in the zone, at the process, right? These different places that we use pressure control, all of them work together, right? So this concept kind of ties into all of this. If we have a group of processes that operate the same way, right? So that might be in the same geographical area of the facility. They might come on and off together. They might have the same pressure requirements. They'll have the same quality requirements, similar cycle, similar demand profile. Everything's the same. We can put those on their own subloop with their own flow meter, with their own pressure control, with their own filtration and drying. You might have storage if there is some variance in that demand or cycle, but all in its own subloop. But when you do that, you can have multiples of those. You can have multiples of those, but they can all come off of a loop instead of a straight header. So you're still feeding all of the instead of feeding the individual process. Now you're feeding the process groups with their own sub loop. But this is really great. It can be measured in a group. It's controlled in a group. You can isolate it. You can remove compressed air from the entire group when that process group's not being used. It's pretty nice way of doing things. And I guess here's the really cool thing. A lot of times you go into these plants and the plant piping is like 50 years old or sometimes even older, God forbid. But not only just the capital expense, but the logistics to replace the piping in the full system, it can be out of this world, right? So one of the benefits of doing loop or loop and ladder with the sub loops is that you can do this one little piece at a time, right? If you have a properly sized connection into the main loop, then you could take that off, put in your pressure control, any filtration, drying, receiving, isolation, blah, 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 and then just loop out to that process group. And now you cut away the old piping for that process group and you're off and running. But doing that would allow you to fix your compressed air piping, your distribution piping, one small piece at a time. So I hope that's helpful. And as always, you guys stay safe out there, okay?